After months, and sometimes years, you finally bought your ticket to paradise. You have your passport and your itinerary is in order. As you are on your final approach, your plans do not include making waterfalls and scuba diving a top priority of your dream holiday. The Filipina Pea explains it best for those tourists who only think with the wrong head.
A sexpat is a foreigner who comes here with a desire for sex, yes, but here's the distinction. He comes here with the intention of deceiving women about his motives and his situation.
It's no secret, as you are not the only one who spends a lot of time and money to explore and encounter the women of the Philippines. After all, you have convinced yourself you have needs, and it's okay to pursue your desires. Even the Filipina Pea would agree with you to a certain point.
If you're coming here for sex, more power to you. Have all the fun you want, and there's plenty of it to have.
But as with anything imaginable, there is always a threshold, and a holiday in the Philippines is no different and can have severe repercussions if you decide to ignore reality and only follow your physical urges. This is some last-minute advice before you begin your long-awaited journey. You spent some time researching some of the cities you will visit, airfare and other costs, and many of you who are going to visit the Filipina you met online rely on her for information as well. But there are sources that puts many of you in a cognitive state to the point where you think you will always strike it rich and all your fantasies and desires will always be fulfilled. And those sources are the Filipina Vlogger. I want to make it crystal clear that this video is in no way an attempt to smear or pose any negativity towards any of these vloggers. I will not make any claims that they are giving good or bad advice. In fact, I encourage all to subscribe to their channels and decide for yourself what advice is best for you. I'm just here to remind you that you are the one responsible for whichever path or advice you decide. You are the one responsible for interpreting what your mind concludes, and you are the one to blame if things go awry, not the Filipina Vlogger, and that's fact. I get it. You're getting older and loneliness is setting in. And there seems to be no end in sight as the dating scene in the West is atrocious. Your dreams of hooking up with a younger woman are quickly dead on arrival. Your situation doesn't get any better even when you do match, as the ones you match with aren't exactly your type physically and would end up hating you anyway. Then you hear of a place that women who would never give you the time of day at home would be happy to date you. Images alone almost will make you break out your credit card. But what possibly makes you confirm the actual transactions are what follows.
How many times a week does the average Filipino want to have sex? I can do it every day, Yeah, because I am really aggressive girl.
Yeah, Filipinos don't like condoms. There's so many that don't like condoms.
Yes, yeah, I like it without condoms.
I also want to experience without using condoms.
You?
Me? No condom.
You?
No condom, of
Why
course.
Filipinos don't like condom?
I would prepare swallow.
Or swallow or spit?
Swallow.
Oh, I like swallow.
Swallow.
I really like it to swallow. There's a time that I really like to swallow. Like, oh.
Yeah.
By now you may be excited to the point to where your testosterone reaches levels that take over rational thought, causing you to escape reality and into a complete state of sexual bliss. And it's at this point is when I begin to warn you. First, allow Maya to explain the general purpose of content, as I believe all Filipina vloggers share the same intent.
I'm nervous about these questions because it's so controversial and very private topic, but we're still gonna do it for entertainment purposes only.
You're old enough and have ample life experience to know that Maya doesn't need to remind you that what you view is for your entertainment. Filipinas are just like all women, as they not only come in different shapes and sizes, but they also have different attitudes and desires. That's why it is crucial not to allow your urges to blind you, and listen to vloggers' entire message from beginning to end. As the same video usually has more than one answer, you will see here compared to the previous I presented to you.
Yeah, it really depends on the other girls. Girls are very, shy.
With condom because for safety purposes.
I want to use condom. Spit or swallow?
My answer would be spit.
Those were just a few examples of the many wonderful vloggers available, and I can't reiterate enough to make sure you hear their message in its entirety, as what one Filipina may want doesn't mean all Filipinas may want. I feel the Filipina Pea is a better choice for me not because of relationship advice, as that is subjective, but she doesn't express her desires in a way I find going a bit too far for obvious reasons.
I really like to swallow like, oh.
Yeah.
In addition to her relationship content, she also offers a lot of fun experiences home and abroad, making her a more complete source of entertainment and advice. Most importantly, she features lawyers and experts in other fields that offer not only legal do's and don'ts, but also a reminder to research laws, procedures, and etiquette on your own to keep yourself out of trouble. My final suggestion to you: do not think the Philippines is just some third world country and you will be able to get away with anything and do whatever you want just to satisfy some fantasies without any repercussions.
Many of the women here are very innocent and very young, and when they look into your eyes and you tell them lies, they believe you. I might say in the cruelest way possible. You get them to love you, and they lay with you, and then you stomp on their hearts, their dreams, and all their hopes for a future with you. And for what? To get laid? Come on, guys. That's the behavior of a monster.
Just about all vloggers and tourists who have visited the Philippines, including myself who has lived here for some time, agree that this country has no shortage of welcoming, wonderful people. In no way does that mean any of them will just simply let you get away with bad behavior just because you are a foreigner. Always keep in mind the extraordinary makeup of this wonderful nation also include fathers, brothers, and all family members and friends that would not appreciate, if you decide, your foul behavior. If that is not enough for you to grasp, then ask yourself what other entity is made up from the same stupendous population. The Philippines government. I assure you, those elected to govern in the Philippines are the same wonderful people who will protect their citizens.
They are hereby convicted and sentenced to suffer the indeterminate penalty of imprisonment.
If you think that does not extend to a foreigner, think again.
A Philippine court has handed down its verdict in the case of a U.S. Marine charged with rape.
This court hereby finds him guilty beyond reasonable doubt of the crime of rape.
After the verdict, the court announced 21-year-old Lance Corporal Daniel Smith should spend 40 years in prison. Smith said sex with the 23-year-old woman was consensual. She said she was raped last November while she was drunk.
And if you are a type that prefers women young, I strongly suggest you always check ID. And if you think you can get away with behavior that is criminal in your home country in the Philippines, you are not only a monster, but you will be dealt with.
This country can no longer be made their playground for illegal activities like pedophilia and child abuse and exploitation.
Judge Smith is hereby rendered finding accused Stephen Roy Mitchell guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
Respect the laws and culture, and you will be welcomed with open arms in the Philippines. Because if you don't, you now know what will happen to you. Use common sense and better judgment, because if you don't, the Filipina vlogger you misunderstood won't be there to defend you. Rather, she will damn your behavior as any normal human being would. And as they build and expand from their accumulating wealth from your views and other monetary entities from their channels, you will be rotting in prison like you deserve.